It's rare nowadays that I get excited to do a video like a week beforehand. So this is subcontinents according to the UN, because people get way too mad at me when I define the subcontinents. Don't get mad at me. This is the United Nations rage baiting you now. This is the United Nations geoscheme, which divides up 248 countries and territories into 22 geographical subregions. Now, do I personally agree with these subregions? No. Absolutely not. But that doesn't matter here, because we're doing subcontinents versus subcontinents battle royale. Does it feel like certain regions are going to have a bigger advantage over others? Most certainly, yes, but that's just how the world works, baby. Now, typically when the word subcontinent comes up, I think most people's minds goes to one place, that's South Asia, right here with India. Now, I've done subcontinents before, as you can see. Another subcontinent that I think is pretty generally popular and accepted is Southeast Asia, and obviously East Asia with China and Korea and Japan. But then once you expand beyond those regions of Earth, things get a lot more controversial, specifically in one continent. Everyone is always arguing with me about Europe's division. Again, this is the way the UN divides us, so send the hate emails to them. Southern Europe is considered Portugal, Spain, Italy, the former Yugoslavian states, and Greece. Northern Europe is the UK, all of the Nordic countries, and the Baltics. Finally, obviously the most controversial, the thing that everyone's going to argue about, is Eastern Europe. Now, I know for a fact Poland, Czechia, Slovakia, and Hungary consider themselves Central Europe. They do not like to be grouped up with all of Eastern Europe. I think it's because Eastern Europe has a bad connotation, bad vibes held over by the Cold War. I'll be honest though, the part of the map that bothers me the most is Southern Asia here. Why is Iran a part of Southern Asia, UN? That doesn't make any sense to me. South Asia is so clearly defined. It moves up to Afghanistan. Iran is considered typically the Middle East. I don't know why I'm getting so triggered about this. This literally does not matter, but they nailed Southeast Asia. I do think that Oceania is weirdly split. For some reason, this is the only part of the regions in the UN that decides to just use country names. They didn't say Oceania. They just said Australia and New Zealand. That's literally a category. Why did they do this? I literally have no idea. And then they made Melanesia? What? Why would Polynesia and Micronesia also be their same thing? See, this is a fun video because I get to argue with you guys. Like, yo, this is stupid. I don't make the rules here. Now, according to this map, the largest nation on Earth is technically North America, which is just the US, Canada, and Greenland. Then it is Eastern Europe, Russia with, well, Eastern Europe, Ukraine and Poland and Belarus and Romania. South America is then third, and then in fourth place, we actually have Eastern Asia. I do find it really funny that like Asia's splits, I feel like I mostly agree with all of this except for Southern Asia, but I feel like Asia's pretty nicely split. Also, this is with the new World War Simulator update, so this game is going to play a little bit differently than you've probably seen in the past. Finally, I personally just despise that they put the Caribbean and Central America in different zones. Why? Just put them in the same zones. Come on. Call it like Central America / the Caribbean. I mean, you did this weird funky thing with Oceania. Why did you do that? Okay, fine. Last rant. Southern Africa. Why'd you do them like this? Like, this is by far... They did not need to make it this small. I think at the very least, they could have given them at least like maybe these two countries, maybe Mozambique. So here we go. I've pressed play. We have 20 nations. I know in the Wikipedia article it said there's 22. That's because they randomly let Polynesia and Micronesia do their own thing for whatever reason. These are going to be some very big wars. Okay, we already have our first alliance. It's Western Asia and Central Asia combining. And now we have our first war. It is between Western Europe and Northern Europe. Wow, and I think they're already about to land in London. This is crazy. Oh, whoa. Oh my goodness, what the hell is going on? Okay, I actually haven't even seen this. I knew the update was very different for the World War Simulator. I don't know what the hell that was. Did they get a new king or something? Capital city got changed. Oh, so we've seen more visualizations about the combat efficiency that's going on. Okay, so Southern Europe just got an alliance. Oh, look at this team. I think that these three need to all team up because they're in really difficult parts of the map. They're smashed between so many other subcontinents. South America has also declared war in the Caribbean along with Central America. The Caribbean's actually taking back the Guyanas. This war is still going on between Northern Europe and Western Europe. Western Europe better hope that Eastern Europe or Southern Europe doesn't get involved. So is this just showing like these guys are taking over the city, or oh my goodness, they might be literally just Austria after this war. Southern Europe has now entered onto Cuba. South America has entered onto Cuba. Not anymore, though. Bam, they have now entered it. Look at this team that is formed. It is a four-way faction. I kind of like this. So there's basically two big alliances that have formed right now. It is Western Asia, and then it is the Malaysian Asian League. What the hell? Oh, sorry. That's Western Asia Pac and Melanesia League. I don't know why East Asia decided to ally to these guys, but whatever. Currently, Southeast Asia and Australia and New Zealand are moving in after this Papua New Guinea nation. Somehow, Western Europe is still fighting over here in southern France and just Austria. This is crazy. And the Caribbean was conquered, Central America taking the majority of it. I believe it was Central America that actually got the kill because the capital was Havana. All right, so those two nations look a little bit more powerful. They got a little bit of extra land. Maybe that's going to help them against Northern America. Also, big problem with the way, like, this is called South America, this is called Central America. Then they decided to call this Northern America. Was it because it'd be too offensive if they didn't include Mexico and Central American nations as North America? Is that why? Africa is the most peaceful place on earth. Oh, we've got a new teammate. Southeast Asia struggling slightly against Eastern Asia. This is going to be a powerhouse. Honestly, if I had to like realistically pick who would win here, probably Eastern Asia. You got China, you got South Korea, you got Japan, and you got Taiwan. We're not going to mention the North Koreans or the Mongolians. Sorry, guys. But mainly just China, Japan, and South Korea all teaming up. That's a scary combination. Oh, finally, they got puppeted. Okay, so Western Europe has now become a puppet to Northern Europe. Let's see when they start to seize land. Also, how are these guys not dead yet? I don't know. They got puppeted. They're literally about to steal the capital away any second now. And boom, we have a war. The Northern Americans are moving in after Central America, and unfortunately for them, the South Americans cannot help. It might have been a good thing to just allow the South Americans to take Cuba. Eastern Asia has made a peace deal with Southeast Asia, and Australia and New Zealand did not kill off these puppets here. This team is still going strong. Hey, Central America moving up through Florida and taking states like Texas and New Mexico and Arizona and California. Finally, some action out of Northern Africa. Now, they're going to have to fight a two-front war because these guys are allied. Oh, there's another team. Oh, North Africa just got left out of the team right here. They didn't get a part of Operation Abuja, and they might be forced to fight all of Western Pac. Wow, look at South Asia literally giving money away to help them aid the war against North Africa. Okay, well, there's a peace deal. Southern Europe is now moving in after Northern Europe, but they're actually maybe to try to steal this puppet away. I'm not even... Oh, my goodness. Holy crap. Okay, so now this is such an interesting team. I love that this team formed because maybe it's... Well, actually, you know, Western Europe, they are involved in the war, but this mountain range is keeping it very limited. Unfortunately for Southern Europe, they're fighting a two-front war, and the Northern Europeans are driving down the peninsula. Okay, well, at least you pieced out and you didn't lose your capital. Central Europe is going to have to try their best here. Central Asia is going to have to try their best here. And there's so many different regions, it's hard to keep up with all this stuff. Oh, man, North Africa, they got left out. They did not get enough friendships. Maybe they can ally to somebody, but it's a little bit too late. They are pushing inside of this whole alliance, though. Wow, so it looks like Western Europe actually revolted briefly, but now they are dead. Southern Europe is using the Balkans to try their best to fight what Eastern Europe has. Central Asia, I think, is definitely doing the most. Look at all this extra land they've taken. Somehow this puppet is still alive for now. And now we have South America versus Western Africa. I think Central America pieced out early enough where they actually took a little bit of land. They took Florida away from Northern America. Southern Europe also gained a lot of territory off of Western Sahara, the nation of Western Sahara, and Morocco. Eastern Europe pieced out and puppeted Western Asia. They actually forced a divide in the team right here. Central Asia escaped with extra territory, but yeah, they lost. Oh, you guys just invited Northern Africa. I guess that makes sense. Okay, the team is... that kind of works. Unfortunately, though, Western Asia, they're going to start to get their land seized away by the Eastern Europeans. Oh my goodness, look at this. It is a three-way war. Look at these fronts. Fighting in the Balkans of Europe through Iran and modern-day, the Sinai Peninsula. Eastern Africa now moving in after Australia and New Zealand. Western Asia actually gaining land in modern-day Bulgaria. Wow, yeah, Southern Europe is really struggling here. Wow, the Western Asia, they're fighting this alone, and they're doing a fantastic job. It is a three-front war. This is so impressive from Turkey, and they're giving money to the Eastern Europeans at the same time. That's insane. They're taking southern Iran. They have not made it to Africa just yet. They're getting close, though. Whoa, didn't realize all of America is working together right now. South America, Central America, and Northern America. That's crazy. So they're going to launch a full-on assault on the old world. Now Southeast Asia is moving after Australia and New Zealand. And Western Asia is so ballsy. They're deciding to go independent. They've revolted away from Eastern Europe, even though they're fighting already 3 other regions. You're now fighting 4 subcontinents at the same time. Western Asia, how are you possibly doing this? and they're still moving in there. They're looking like the Ottoman Empire at this point. Which, by the way, if you want the Ottoman Empire, head over to makeshift.com. This country ball is for sale along with Venice and Byzantium. They will eventually be gone, so head over to makeshift.com by using that first link in the description down below. So nice to have the Ottomans for sale, because I always reference the Ottomans whenever I see them on a map, and I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, buy the country ball plushies. I like having these Ottoman country ball plushies. Looks like a giant onion next to me. Oh man, what happened? Oh, they gained their freedom. I thought they changed colors. I thought randomly Northern Europe puppeted them. And they did it. They managed to do... Oh, and Uno reverse card. They puppeted Southern Europe. Western Asia got their independence and then puppeted Southern Europe. This is getting crazy. And now Northern America is moving in after Eastern Europe, which... Oh, they're moving through Alaska. I forgot about that. The map is looping. That's right. Oh, with the help of Eastern Asia, it's a two-front war. I'm not sure if they're going to be ready to fight this war over here in Siberia, Eastern Europe. The vast majority of their population is on this side of things. Oh, another massive war. What team? Oh, so they're Western Asia is not being invited back on the team. Northern Africa, this is very impressive. You're fighting on all fronts. Northern America did take a chunk away from Eastern Europe, but Eastern Europe is taking more land away from Eastern Asia. They're actually about to take Pyongyang away from them. Eastern Asia, this is crazy. You are really losing more and more land, aren't you? What happened to all your money? Oh, now we have South America actually moving in after Melanesia. How are they still around? Did you not get... Southeast Asia, you got to annex this puppet. They were never going to win in the first place. I'm sorry to say, but now. Northern Africa finally shifting the tides a little bit, apparently. They're moving in after Western Asia, and they're getting a lot of territory from them. And now North America is moving in also after Southern Europe, who's still a puppet under Western Asia. Are they just attempting to liberate these guys, or what is going on? Look at them use this mountain range in Iran to find these new borders between Western Asia and Southern Asia. Again, these three African regions really trying hard to defeat Northern Africa, but they're really struggling here. Southern Europe actually taking a little bit of the Atlantic Ocean away from Northern America. Eastern Europe with a huge win over Eastern Asia. They dipped in. They got a lot of extra land. Mongolia and North Korea has been taken away. Southeast Asia now moving in after Southern Asia. And Western Asia just fighting Eastern Africa. They've made it to Somalia. Eastern Europe after Northern Europe, and this is going to be a very big battle because whoever comes out on top, if the Eastern Europeans come out on top here, that is going to be very bad news for the world because this is going to be such a massive country. By land area, it is still North America, but Eastern Europe is literally... Okay, well, they were on their heels. They're losing a lot of land here. Okay, they're fighting a two-front war. This is reminding me of not really World War II because the Japanese never went after the Soviet Union, but this could have been the situation they were in. And the Western Asians are now beginning to seize land away from their puppets south. Oh, Southern Europe was just freed. They're here, but they're just in Iberia. In terms of alliances, the biggest alliance is, of course, this alliance here in America. Wow, that's crazy. They even pulled in Northern Europe. Then it's Operation Abuja. I don't know, man. And then Central Asia Bloc. What is even going on in the Balkans? I think nobody has any idea ever. This alliance is finally broken down. Everyone's going after Middle Africa. I wonder why they chose to name this Middle Africa and not Central Africa. Like everything else is Central Asia, Central America. Yet Middle Africa? What? Yeah, there's a lot of wars actually happening all over the world. Northern Europe is actually looking pretty good as they stretch all the way to Moscow. Central Asia, the huge thorn in Eastern Europe's side, I think. Oh, and this is where they're expanding the front. Oh, I see how it works now. So, like, certain fronts... Oh, you just got puppeted. Oh, boy, the Soviet Union all over again. Alliances have been breaking down. I see how this is working. Okay, so they're now not just taking the whole area. It's like certain regions having a big old explosion. Eastern Europe has two puppets now. Oh, boy. That cannot be good for the rest of the world. Who is this coming over here? Western Asia? Oh, that's right. Because they stole some stuff from Southern Europe. So boom, they have a big old expansion this way. They can take specific cities, which is big now. Because sometimes all it takes is to take... Oh, is Southern Africa finally going to collapse? Well, they just got puppeted. And I think Southern Europe is going to get a little bit of revenge on Northern Europe. Oh, Northern Europe fighting a two-front war. Of course, the Americans, or the Northern Americans, still trying their best to move across the Bering Strait. Europe just got back... Eastern Europe just got back Moscow. And Eastern Africa is beginning to seize land from Southern Africa. Whoa, 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 what is this? Oh, they're seizing land too, okay. These borders are getting really complicated. Eastern Europe is over here now in Northern Africa. Western Asia just got their freedom. Southern Asia is actually fighting for their freedom to move away from Eastern... Okay, they just got their freedom successfully. Now, Eastern Europe only has one puppet, that's Central Asia. Africa's borders are really beginning to break down right now. Central Asia fighting for their freedom. They're trying to. If they get to that Moscow capital, they got to focus over here, moving that front. Get to Moscow and then you'll be safe, buddy. Oh, they did it. Okay, they are now free. Oh, there was an explosion in the front line. Eastern Asia got through the Himalayan mountains. That was impressive. Yeah, this new World War... Oh, you just got puppeted, didn't you? Yeah, they got puppeted by South America, though. This is Southeast Asia. This new World War Simulator update does make things war a lot more interesting. The way only certain front lines are moving, only certain regions of the front lines are now beginning to move. That's cool. Wow, Southeast Asia. Wow, so many colors are changing. There's 16 nations left, but the regions are beginning to break down so much it's hard to even keep up. So Southeast Asia is still under South America. Oh, Southern Asia might just die. Okay, how are they not dead? Okay, they are officially dead. Okay, and now they might even get, Western Asia might die. Boom, this is becoming huge. Okay, but again, the green, do not be confused by the green. There's a lot of green nations. They're not all single puppet. So puppets have been getting their freedom a lot lately. The North Americans actually entered Africa briefly. Oh, the alliance finally broke down. Central America so close to DC right now. Yeah, it's pretty much everyone's game. Everyone's going crazy because all the alliances are breaking down. I think people are starting to see like the end game might be in sight. We do have 15 subcontinents left though. There goes Central Asia. So there's 14 nations left. Looks like Southeast Asia is about to be the next one to go. Eastern Europe is officially #1 in terms of land area. Then it's North America because they lost a war with Central America. Then it's South America. And then it is Western Africa. That's impressive. Unbelievably, Southern Europe is actually still here. They're just in Morocco. They're in France now. And then they're in Iberia. Oh, there's so much green on this map. Oh, Central America actually just got puppeted by South America. The battle for America is going to be huge because that is going to be, I guess, the big player on who takes on Eastern Europe. I think Eastern Europe looks good, but also Northern Europe, don't count them out. Australia and New Zealand still going, this subcontinent here. Holy crap, South America took over all of China. I didn't even realize they put it all of Southeast Asia. No, I did do that, but I didn't realize they seized all that land. Oh my gosh, that is a huge front you are fighting, Eastern Europe. My goodness. Oh, Central Asia coming to save Northern Europe. Or fighting Northern Europe, saving Eastern Europe. This is really hard to do this video because there's just so many of the same names in all these different subcontinents. Europes and Africas and Americas. Someone has got to watch South America. They are getting huge over here in Eastern Asia. Eastern Europe. This is not looking good. They moved their capital to Tehran. No, that's not Tehran. My bad. And Eastern Europe just got puppeted by Southern America. So is that what this World War Simulator update's going to do? Is now because it more depends on where you're pushing and where you're getting the gains of territory, like anyone has a better chance of winning. Maybe it's not. Oh my goodness, that's got to be the case. They just puppeted all of Eastern Europe is dead. That's crazy. They were just the #1 nation. It really depends on what land, how you're taking land, and in what areas, which is very interesting. Look at this huge Southern America. I did not expect them to explode like this through. Okay, so I think the rest of the world should start to team up against South America because they're just getting so big. Northern Europe has finally re-puppeted Southern Europe. I cannot believe you even lasted this long. That's really nice. So it looks like gold is not as important. You don't need like thousands and thousands of gold here. I mean, South America is certainly getting a lot of gold because they have a lot of puppets all around the world. If South America defeats Northern America, it is over. And they are honestly only a couple pixels away from Washington, D.C. right now. The Canadians, Americans, and Greenlanders need to work together to kick the South Americans out of Georgia, out of Florida, out of the Carolinas. If they can do that, that's going to be a big step. But they got to focus that front line. Okay, that was a nice little push. Eastern Africa just got a kill. I think that was Western Asia they finally destroyed. These are big wars. So Northern America and Northern Europe are working together right now to fight a two-front war. But, oh, I just don't know. I don't know how they're supposed to do this. Whoa. Western Europe made it to South America. Whoa. Western Africa made it to South America. What the heck is happening? There's been a shift in the force. South America now being pushed out by Northern Europe. Northern Europe is actually the new de facto player. World superpower, I mean. South America's lost everything. Central America, you good? They're going a little wild. Eastern Europe, my bad, I'm snacking. Northern Europe looked like they were going to win and then they just died. And now Northern America looks like they're going to die. There's 5 nations left now. This has been a wild, this update was really good. It's Middle Africa that's the biggest country on Earth. And then there were 4, I think how South America is in majority Asia. This is the 1984 of this world. Who's going to come out on top? Oh, Middle Africa has collapsed. Well, not yet. They're about to. It's between 2 American nations. Actually, Central America, very impressive. This endless war here. Let's see what the update and the different ways to expand. Maybe Central America makes a comeback. I mean, look, they're expanding in Iberia. That might not be enough. There's a constant back foot. They got to get to Mexico City. Oh, that's smart. Expand through the Yucatan Peninsula. So nobody just runs out of money anymore. They just fight forever. Whoa! Uno reverse card. Massive Uno reverse card. Big Uno reverse card. What the hell is happening? How much money you got, South America? You got 5. Oh, is that why? So you can still run out of money, but you're gonna lose. How much money did Central America have? They still have plenty more. Whoa, and they're still going. Central. Well, honestly, frick me then. I should have just shut the hell up. They just puppeted South America. What is this update? This is so crazy. I would have never, ever, ever guessed Central America winning. I'm in shock right now. I wouldn't say it's the last nation I would have picked, but it would have certainly been towards the bottom. Honestly, standing ovation. Standing ovation. Can I stand? That was cool. That was amazing. By the way, plushies, Ottomans, Venice, Byzantium, they're about to be gone, but you can still get a hold of them over at makeshift.com. Link down below. DruuuWu Labubu. Drew's AI girlfriend. Luxembourg lover. Lore track. William. Never change Drew. Unless you want to. Nolan. Alexander the Terrible. Nord. Tyrol. Miglu the Goat. King. Bear Hayes. Connor Pavlik. Frederick Tiblin. And Tamron. To all my Patreon subscribers this month, thank you. If you want your name here, check the description down below.